Clash fans, Trample Damage coming at you today with the unstoppable LavaLoon army. And as you can tell from the thumbnail, my Royal Champion has had the entire day off today, which you can see here in my attack log. There is no Royal Champion being deployed in any of these attacks. We have 7 out of 7 attacks so far today where we have had triples, and in none of them have we deployed the Royal Champion because this attack is so powerful. And I'm just going to show you how it works because you could, of course, is that everybody? Shubam. Who was the first? Yep, Shubam. There you go, 7 out of 7. The army composition looks pretty light. If you don't have what I'm going to call the best hero equipment, that's totally fine. It is still going to work. The main thing is the giant arrow. We want the giant arrow on the Archer Queen because that is how we open most of our attacks. I am using a drill. The majority of the time I'm using a battle drill just to help the king and the queen and then take out some stray defenses potentially. We have 5 lightning spells, 2 rage, 2 freeze. The sneaky goblins are not essential. They're just for cleanup, and most of the time they go to waste. Sometimes I'll use them for funneling. The super wall breaker is also not 100% necessary. I just use it to sometimes push the king into a compartment if my giant arrow goes astray. What I'm primarily doing is trying to hit 2 air defenses with my Archer Queen's giant arrow, and then I'm pathing through the town hall on my way to another air defense. So the plan would be to giant arrow through this air defense and this air defense, and then use 3 lightning spells on this one, and then 2 on a sweeper. Where are the sweepers? Sweepers are here. But sweepers are gonna be behind us, so nothing to worry about there. So we're gonna see if we can line up a giant arrow. Ooh, giant arrow is gonna be a little tougher to line up. We can go straight through. That should actually work. Let's go queen right on this corner. Ooh, giant arrow. And, oh, we missed that one. Okay, so since we missed that one, we're going to go ahead and go 1, 2, 3 up here. We're going to put the king down on this side along with an ice golem and see if our king, we're just going to trigger his spiky ball. That way he can get through there. We are going to quake through the core and we'll zap a sweeper. Now we're going to go with our LavaLoons through the town hall. We're going to go a group of 3, warden, a group of 3, a group of 3. And a lot of times people are placing their tornado traps and we didn't see it. So we can trigger our our Grand Warden, his Eternal Tome through there. And then we can put the rage on the back side here. And we'll drop a freeze spell there just to give that LavaLoon a little bit more time. We have not used the battle drill, so we'll drop it in on this Tesla. And we'll just give some help over here with some cleanup. We got some freeze spells we'll use for the LavaLoons. Like I said, we've got the sneaky goblins are not 100% necessary. And we didn't even use the Royal Champion or the super wall breaker because the king had to use his earthquake boots to get into the town hall or the air defense compartment. I still have a poison spell. Oh no, we got poison. Let's drop our archers. That's it. And I did not deploy the Royal Champion. That is 8 of 8 attacks. 0 Royal Champion. She had to take the entire day off. So the Royal Champion on vacation. I'm just going to show you a couple of these other attacks. And you wind up getting, it's the exact same thing. Oh, here, this is a somewhat similar base layout. Let me see if I can find one that's a little bit different. What's this one look like? This one is, okay, so a diamond base. So the same thing, we've got 2 air defenses we would ideally like to get, and we want to path through the town hall. I've seen a lot of people where they'll like 3 lightning, 3 lightning, 3 lightning, and then they'll just send all their LavaLoons right at an air defense from near the outside. But the biggest benefit you get from the LavaLoons is actually them pathing through the base and just dropping bombs on their way across the base. So here, I think this one I would probably line up to take these 2 out with an Archer Queen from over here or from over here. If we want to go top to bottom, we could oh, there she is. Archer Queen, bam. So we got 2 air defenses, and then we will zap one of these. And then my king, what am I going to do with my king? My king is probably just, oh, there you go, Ice Golem, king, and they're going to do their thing. Now, the reason why I tend to put the LavaLoons in a clump of 6, and then so it's like 3 and 3, warden, 3 and 3, and they all have the same travel speed, which is really awesome. And then we will, here I decided to quake near the town hall, trigger the warden. Here we go, we got caught in a tornado trap. And this is why I love using the healing tome, although it's not 100% necessary. Those LavaLoons can get cooked a little bit in the town hall poison, even when the eternal tome protects them. But unlike last year when we were having to use the life gem, the healing tome will continue offsetting the damage they'd be taking from those poison spell towers or from the town hall gigabomb. And you just get a ton of LavaLoons that are left over. And much just like every other attack I made today, I use my Royal Champion not at all. Look how many troops are left. There's still a bunch of LavaLoons. My king is barely hanging on, but he's alive. Warden's alive. Queen, probably. Oh, Queen's alive. Everybody's alive. Oh no, did their king, their king knocked out my king right at the end. He missed the money shot at the very end there. Perfect. He missed the triple. So let's talk briefly through the army. I am pairing the unicorn with the queen just because it helps to keep her alive longer. I'm pairing the owl with the warden. If you put the jelly on him, he will not follow the LavaLoons to their targets across the base. He will target defenses that are closer. So, and since it's an air army and we don't want to trigger ice golems any more than we have to, he is being paired with the electro owl. The Royal Champion is, of course, getting any pet we want since she's not being deployed. But if you are going to wind up using the Royal Champion, which, you're probably going to need to at some point, I tend to suggest the Spirit Fox on her as well. And I do put the king under the control of the Angry Jelly. That way, when I run into an attack like the one you saw me make live, and he cannot go directly after an air, or if I miss one of the air defenses with a giant arrow, I can send the king after that directly. Okay, so let's see what we do here. It's probably going to be... Oh, this wasn't that long ago. I think I came through these two air defenses. Again, I want to be able to travel across the base, dealing as much damage as possible. So here goes the queen. And the giant arrow is important. You need practice on the giant arrow. I think we triple lightning this air defense. Back up just in case I didn't. Yep, triple lightning on that air defense. And both of the sweepers were actually here and here. So the sweepers are already down. I have 2 extra lightning spells. Went ahead and sent in the super wall breaker so that the king could get into this compartment. I sent the battle drill with him. Sometimes I forget about the battle drill. Now I want you to watch 1, 2, 3. This is in half speed. This is really where the power of the LavaLoons come and what I think people miss. We've got an Inferno Tower, we've got a multi-archer tower underneath of those LavaLoons, and by the time the LavaLoons simply path over them, they're not stopping to deal damage to them. They're just pathing over them, and they wind up going down. That Inferno Tower barely held on, but then, of course, the pups are going to wind up taking it down. Most of the defenses that these LavaLoons path over wind up getting destroyed, and that's the part, and I have an Earthquake spell to help either deal extra damage to the Town Hall or soften up an area that was not already hit by the Barbarian King's Earthquake boots. But they wind up pathing through very nicely. They deal a boatload of damage on their way across the base. And we've got a couple of freezes that are normally left over. And you can see most of these attacks, actually, I don't deploy the sneaky goblins and the archers until near the very end. The only time I really use them is if I absolutely have to funnel my king into a compartment and I don't think he'd be able to reach it with whatever his abilities are. I'll show you one more quick attack, and of course, I didn't mention this in the beginning, use code TRAMPLE, and check out my TikTok, and subscribe to my YouTube. If you didn't subscribe already, go subscribe, and use code TRAMPLE, and all that fun stuff. Oh, and my podcast, Inside Clash with Trample Damage. It is an amazing Clash of Clans podcast that you should definitely wind up checking out. Look, these attacks are so fast also. No Royal Champion. It's less than a minute and a half. There goes a minute and a half. The Archer Queen takes out 2 air defenses, a couple of lightning spells taking out another air defense, and we took out an air sweeper, and then we send in the king with the jelly and a super wall breaker, and we'll let him do some of his stuff. But then, of course, you can tell the one remaining air defense is here, and we want to go through the town hall, so we are going to deploy the LavaLoons on the bottom side of the base, making sure they will path over the top of the town hall. And I tend to go, like I said, 3 and 3. That way I can kind of help gauge what's going to wind up happening with tornado traps potentially. So I put just a little bit of space in between them, spread them out a little. What you don't want to do is just dump them all in one massive clump because they can wind up taking a lot of damage from scatter shots, and the multi-target Inferno Towers are going to be able to have their way with them a little bit. But the scatter shots and the poison spell towers are really potentially problematic for the LavaLoons. You see the king just decimating what's left of that side of the base. And again, at this point, all 3 of my freeze spells are completely unused. No Royal Champion, still haven't used the Sneaky Goblins, still haven't used the Archers, but they would be very helpful potentially for cleanup, even though most of the time in the end of the attack, we have an absolute horde of LavaLoons and their pups running around. You have to try this out. Even when people wind up trying to build defensive bases around this, if you're just patient, if you're good with the arrow, and then patient with the use of your Eternal Tome, you're going to be in good shape. Last thing we'll talk is the equipment. Again, you do anything you want with the Royal Champion because we're not using her, but Hog Puppet and Rocket Spear are probably good for her normal defensive push. Queen needs the Giant Arrow. Warden needs the Eternal Tome. If you want to pair it up with a Fireball, knock yourself out. You want to pair it up with a Rage Gem, knock yourself out. I do think the Healing Tome is the most valuable. King can probably use anything, but the Earthquake Boots are great to be able to potentially get him to an air defense that was missed. Spiky Ball, same exact thing. You guys have all seen the power of the Gauntlet and the Rage Gem if you wanted to use that as well. Vamp Stash is great. Barbarian Puppet's fine. Just have a lot of fun. And, you know, this is the Legend Day, though, right? I'm perfect, and I'm going to get perfected, and this will probably be the state of affairs for the rest of the month. But the Royal Champion will hopefully have an entire week off to herself. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't already liked the video, hit the like button, share with a clanmate, and we will check you guys out on the next video.